Seattle and you're watching Zanas Media introducing Norwich Sound and Vision Live. Now it might be the last day of Sound and Vision 2013, but we're sending this festival off with a big bang. Today is also your last chance to get your questions into this show by tweeting us at Zanas Media or by using the hashtag Zanas Media. Well, on tonight's show, we have interviews with LA music supervisor Angel Mendoza, hip-hop act Ty, acoustic duo as well, Sullivan and Gold, plus an interview with British YouTube sensation Ashens. Well, kicking off the show, we caught up with the fiercely brilliant band that the Sunday Times has described as sublime earlier on. Here are the all-female super cool Pins, but this video does contain a bit of strobe lighting.
Sophie and I play the drums.
I'm Faith and I sing and play the guitar.
I'm Lois and I play lead guitar.
I'm Anna and I play the bass.
I guess you would describe our sound as, well, we're a rock and roll band a bit, like that kind of dynamic.
As a group, I think that we understand each other and you can sort of guess what they're going to put, what another person is going to put to like the drum beat or whatever. So in this,
surprise you though.
Yeah, in this group, it really works. And if somebody else was added, whether it was a man or a woman, I think it would make a difference.
Like with writing the music and being creative people, we're obviously into loads and loads of different influences and like to bring those into our lives and express ourselves in many different ways.
I guess the Girls Like Us thing is not as in
It's not us.
us,
like
literally us, as in it's like anyone, like you can be whoever you want to be, like not to be like literally us, but like be yourself, that kind of thing.
In this band, we're being who we want to be and we just want other people to do the same.
Like Faith or Lois will come with a ready formed demo that they've done at home, and like people do songwriting at home, but sometimes we'll just start from nothing and jam it out in the practice room, and sometimes we'll swap instruments and that all creates something a little bit different. It creates a different dynamic. Well, we've got 2 weeks in the UK and then some European dates for our album tour. And then we've got some more dates in December, and then hopefully next year we'll just be touring wherever we can. We've got our agent booking shows all over the place. So we just want to play as many shows as possible and get to as many places as possible for as long as we can, really.
And we're writing another record at the moment, so whether that's going to be the album, I'm not sure.
Well, that was the brilliant Pins. Now in the studio, we have a British YouTube sensation. From reviewing Tat to starring in and co-writing his own full-length movie, I proudly welcome Stuart Ashen. Hello.
Hello.
Nice
How are you
to
doing
meet you.
And same to you.
I'll come to the Tat in a moment and also the full-length movie. Sounds very interesting. But you make YouTube videos. So what started you off doing that?
Something I sort of stumbled into by accident, really.
Right.
Years ago, I used to frequent a forum with about an old video games journalist ran it. And back when, do you remember the Sony PSP? The handheld video game thing?
Yeah.
Back when it was brand new and very expensive. There was a cheap Chinese knockoff of it made, which cost about £5 and really didn't do anything anybody would want to happen. We saw it on YouTube. on eBay. I bought one and then sort of just made a short video for the people on this forum to have a look at.
Yeah.
And somebody sent it to the online newsletter Beta, and it sort of snowballed from there. About 70,000 people saw it, which was an awful lot back then.
Wow.
And I ended up making another video about something similar, and it just went on and on. It's been going on for about 7 years now.
It's a real culture, hasn't it, that's developed over the sort of last decade, I guess, perhaps longer, of people actually making an income through having their own YouTube channels and subscribers.
Yeah, I mean,
and such.
it's 5 years ago, it was almost impossible to make money from it. 10 years ago, there wasn't such a thing as YouTube. So,
Yeah.
you know, it really is a very recent industry. There's still very few people who actually make enough money to live off, really.
Okay. And do you make contact with other people that have YouTube channels as well? Is there a community, or is it quite an individual thing? Because, I mean, you're not really necessarily close to each other location-wise.
Well, it's absolutely. When people make it big, they do tend to gravitate towards London because that's where all the facilities are. But I work with a company called Channel Flip, and we sort of work with a lot of the other people who work for them. It works very well, sort of forming a community around that, really.
Okay. And what makes you stay in Norwich then, or in the area? Norfolk?
It's cheap.
We love that.
London, too expensive. There's too many men. There's too
Right.
many people making too many problems. And there's not much love to go round.
Norwich Sound and Vision sounds perfect for you then. Stay in the city. So you have stuff sent to you to review.
Yes, yeah, I've got a PO box which frequently fills up with horrifying items that people have discovered in pound stores or the foreign equivalents like Dollar Tree or World of Yen or whatever the Japanese equivalent is.
What's the most disturbing thing you've ever had sent to you to review?
Probably a dead duck, a taxidermied duck.
Oh, I thought you meant... Oh,
Or not just like
Not
a
just
corpse in a
roadkill
box.
or
That would have been really bad. But I'm not a big fan of taxidermy, so that was a horrible thing to sort of open up and, oh God, it's real. Or at least it was. You know.
okay. That's really strange.
Yeah, I don't know how you would review that.
No.
I haven't got the duck CV. I can't tell you if it led a good life or not. You know.
So you must have loads of videos on your YouTube channel now.
300 or more, I think.
What's your favourite that you've made? The one you're most proud of?
Wow, that's a difficult one. I like the collaborative things we did. Like we did an advertising campaign called The Proxy, which was sort of a sci-fi comedy thriller thing. That was good. I suppose for a standard review video, I reviewed a very strange ET toy that was based on a Furby. A terrifying thing. I quite like that because it started off as sort of a normal review and it went in a very strange direction, which I didn't intend when I started out. So it's one of the few times I've sort of surprised myself with the sheer unpleasantness of it.
Yeah. Okay, so YouTube, you have fans or subscribers on YouTube. Well, how does that fan base translate in real life, as it were? Do you have people that recognise you in the street?
Very rarely. I'm not generally seen on camera. You just see my hands.
Okay.
So it's only things like the movie and that's where my face is used to bludgeon the audience into submission. So it's not often people spot me. It does happen occasionally. But.
So I really, really want to know more about this movie. I think we've got a clip, a trailer for it. What's better? Shall I ask you first? Or just
play the trailer first.
Let's play the trailer. Let's have a look at the trailer.
I haven't seen this for a while.
Hi, do you want to watch a movie that's been described as Indiana Jones meets Monty Python and the Holy Grail with a bit of bargain hunt thrown in? I know I do. Then check out Warwick Davis and the Quest for the Game Child.
It's Ashens.
What?
Ashens.
Ashens? Who the hell's Ashens? All right, check out Ashens and the Quest for the Game Child. I'm still in it though, right?
Ashens!
It's incredible.
It gets better every time I see it.
Why did you want to make a full-length movie? What was
Because
that
I
about?
could, is the
Okay.
basic answer. We got into a sort of situation. I've had an idea sort of a film for years, but it's one of those things you never think you could actually make happen. Then when we did this advertising campaign, The Proxy, last year, we got together with a lot of people who actually make feature films in order to do it. And at a party last year, I spoke to the co-writer-director, Riyadh, and said, we should make our own film about me doing stuff. It'll be great. And Riyadh, being one of those people who makes things happen, he sort of went, this will occur. And within a year, we were in full production.
That's incredible. How long did it take to shoot?
It was 3 weeks pretty much, very
Okay.
intensive,
Yeah.
and 1 day of pickups after.
You've got some great big names in it as well. How did that come about?
Warwick is the chairman of a YouTube channel called The Multiverse, which is part of Channel Flip, so we managed to sort of drag him in through that because we actually released the film on The Multiverse. And Robert Llewellyn does some work with Channel Flip, and we sort of showed him the script and he liked it, so we conned him into being into it as well, which is brilliant.
Amazing. I love conning people into doing stuff.
It's pretty much how I've got my career going so far.
How are you involved in Norwich Sound and Vision then? Or how have you been?
We did a panel this morning about internet marketing and distribution.
Yep.
And now I'm here. Hello.
Great. Hello, Norwich Sound and Vision, right here, right now. For you then, Stuart, what does the future hold in the next, let's say, few months? Where are you off to next?
The next few months. It's mostly mopping up from the film, actually. Okay. We're still showing it at a few festivals and things, promoting it. And as we crowdfunded part of it, we've got a lot of DVDs to make to send out to the people who very kindly gave us money to make it. Okay. So that's a full-time occupation at the moment, really.
Sounds like it. Sounds very busy. Thank you very much for lending us the time, though, to come and have a chat. It's been lovely meeting you. Not a problem. And see you on YouTube soon.
Thank you very much.
Next up, if you thought hip-hop was dead, you can think again. Our team caught up with a hip-hop act that refuses to jump on any industry bandwagon. This is Ty.
To be happy, to be sincere, and to provoke some sort of emotion. That's pretty much my intention.
How we supposed to raise kids to that? And I ain't blaming no one. It starts with
For me, making music or writing songs, there is no set method.
Created to a fault like an art degree, but something happened.
I wouldn't say my music should be set aside from other music artists. What I've been trying to do is prove the naysayers wrong. Not just the naysayers in regards to Thai, but the naysayers in regards to hip hop from this country. People always having this thing of, oh yeah, it's just not hip hop's time, it's not blah blah blah. I don't think that's got anything to do with that. I think it's got, if you put the right energy in front of the right audience, there's gonna be an explosion. I'm always about making people enjoy themselves or express themselves or come out of their shell a little bit. The opportunity to stand in front of people, the opportunity to actually have your music played back in people's cars, in people's houses, via the internet or via their laptops, whatever, is a sacred opportunity to change the dynamic that we have in this world. It's about realizing that you have the power to influence or affect others to actually start thinking and speaking about certain things. You're going to get a hell of a lot more music from Thai than you have been getting in the last few years. So, you know, I've been quality over quantity, but now it's going to be quality in quantity. So I had to think of that. It might seem normal, but it was quite a brainiac moment there. I want to sell 1 million records. I just don't want to be a cliche.
Well, joining me in the studio, we have the people that have been working their socks off to make this very programme. Ladies and gentlemen, it's NS Media. Hello! Hello! So someone, please explain to me a little bit about what NS Media actually is.
Well, we're a media learning company at the City College Norwich, and we've set up our own media company, and so now we're getting jobs come through, and it's really unique because we're the only one in the UK, so it's really special and exciting.
Okay, and so what are you actually doing at Norwich Sound and Vision?
Well, as a team, we're covering working with the cameras, interviewing the band, editing. But with my team, it was just interviewing the band and editing and turning it over.
Okay, it's a really, really big project, so there must have been some highs and lows along the way.
Yeah, definitely. I have to say some of the lows would be the stress and obviously the getting stuff out on time. But obviously the highs were working with the team and meeting new people and seeing live shows.
Okay. And how much of the festival have you seen?
Well, I saw Drenge last night and Ghost Poet the night before, but we've been working pretty hard and I had to play as well, so I haven't had a chance to see many bands at all.
Okay. Have anyone seen any bands live that they really enjoyed?
Yeah, I went to see Kilimanjaro last night.
Did you?
And they were really, really good. They really engaged with the audience. They really make everyone have a good time, so that was really nice. I'm really glad I went to that one.
Okay, cool. So you saw Kilimanjaro, you're making connections and stuff. Has anyone met anyone really interesting?
Yeah, I met Will Varley, who was here yesterday, and he was really nice to get along with. He was really friendly, and it was just because we had to sort of debrief him on the interview questions before actually take him into the studio, and it was really nice to get along with him. So yeah.
Okay, so after all of your experiences that you've had this year, do you think you'll be back next year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's been a really successful year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like festivals do, they can only get bigger next year. So, like, yeah, I think they've had really good guests and, well, performers and stuff, so yeah.
Okay. And what's next for NS Media?
We're going to be working quite closely with companies like Visit Norfolk and like Norwich Fashion Week later in the year and things like that. So it's pretty much just trying to get the jobs to roll in and just try and do the best job we can for them.
Okay. So with all of this experience under your belt, what do you envisage yourself doing with that? Where do you want to go now?
Well, I'm not really sure myself, but like definitely this has helped me know that I want to be in the media industry.
Okay.
And it's such a broad field that possibilities could be endless.
Okay, let's have a bit of a discussion. Okay, so you've all done different roles. What's the best role? Let's come up with a general consensus. Best role to have done, be it camera operating or researching. What do you all think?
Live teams.
Live teams. Is that lots of different things, or?
Yeah, it's quite nice to be a camera op because you get to actually go out. You can like record the band, so. It's really interesting and you get to meet new people doing that. So.
And does anyone have anyone that they would absolutely dream to interview or go and do something similar with in the future?
The Crates.
The Crates. That's you.
Self-promotion.
You must have had some real team bonding experiences as well doing it. So what's been the funniest moment of the festival? Can anyone think of something funny that's really happened?
I can only think of Derek.
I can just think of Goat.
What happened with Derek?
Pretty much. We brought in every day to sort of keep the team going. We kept bringing in sort of loads of like snacks and biscuits and things like that. And Derek used to go on the prowl and just kind of not eat all of it. Hi Derek, by the way. Not eat all of them, but sort of he used to. You could see when he was sort of hunting for the food.
Right. So you've all gotten to know each other very well then, in that sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you ever so much for joining me in the studio. I hope to see you back next year, getting involved and taking it further beyond as well. Who knows? So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Now it's time in the show to see what you've been saying on Twitter. I've got my trusty iPad here. Rochelle says to me, what's the best thing about DJing? Because that's what I do when I'm not doing presenting. I think the best thing is when you're live DJing after a gig or at a club night or whatever, playing songs and trying to decide what the dance floor want to hear next. And when you play something that is just going to go down really well and have people cheer. And I once got a round of applause at the end of a song when I played Queen Bohemian Rhapsody in the middle of a really cool hipster party. So that's probably the best thing about DJing, is kind of seeing people's reactions. And thanks to everyone who's tweeted actually over the last few days. It's been really great to hear from you. Now, up next, we have an experimental duo that formed only 1 month ago. Anyone who's a fan of Bombay Bicycle Club or Iron and Wine are definitely going to find these guys interesting. So I introduce to you Sullivan and Gold.
I've deleted her number, erased her cassette. I've got my mind stuck
I think it is quite hard to describe actually, our music. It definitely covers, there's some elements of folk within it. There's some elements, it's very piano based as well. Yeah. There's elements of indie in it. So it's quite I think it's
quite
eclectic,
yeah.
Yeah.
Quite inspired by like Simon and Garfunkel, and you know, from someone like that to like people we consider great modern writers like maybe Bombay Bicycle Club. I suppose eventually you nearly end up coming back to the same sound because of the way you play your instruments. You know, the guy's playing guitar for us, he's solo act in his own right, he's called Our Krypton Sun, and like I would play, you know, like most other kind of indie guitarists with like pedals and stuff, and he just goes like totally natural.
It's real purist when it comes to guitar,
so
you know.
So that it's like experimental because it's not, I suppose. Well, we've been a band really for like only a couple of weeks, months, and we were kind of experimenting just with songwriting. So I suppose we're experimental in that sense. We spent like a year and a half writing with another guy, and we just wrote about kind of 15-20 songs. So
the whole process of putting it as a band has been very experimental, you know, moving from being a recording project, getting an album ready, to moving it forward into actually becoming a performing band, you know.
Yeah.
We've played in a band together since like 2007 maybe.
Yeah. We met together at university playing in this band.
So when it came to the end of that band, we just wanted to do something that was a bit different from what we'd been doing. So it just felt natural to start writing together again and move into Sullivan and Gold.
Mm-hmm. We're releasing an album on the 25th of November called For Foes on a Northern Irish label called Small Town America.
It's really lovely, we're really happy with it.
Yeah.
It's a guy called Matthew Green designed the cover of it, and it's lovely, like spangly, glittery vinyl and everything.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really be about like financial success within it, but just that it's got some kind of critical acclaim, the album and the band, for me anyway.
Hello, up next we have a short video with a very special guest. This magnificent man came all the way from LA just for Norwich Sound and Vision Festival. He's a sought-after music supervisor who's worked on trailers for new releases like Rush, Romeo and Juliet as well. This is Angel Mendoza.
I'm a music supervisor. I work specifically for a film trailer company in the United States called AV Squad, and we specialize in motion picture trailers for big Hollywood studios. We've literally heard from other vendors, people go, we want the AV Squad treatment. You know, we want, that AV Squad look. So it's amazing to be part of a company, because this is the first company I've worked for in this industry where that has happened. It's such a blessing to be able to do this for a living, just to someone asked my opinion of what music I think fits these movies. So, and obviously I think to a lot of people, when you see the larger films come out and that you're a part of, and you see the revenue it makes or how people react, how could you not be satisfied from that, Something like Rush, we were able to kind of step outside the box for what that movie was and attack it from trying something a little bit more modern, where the movie, when you watched it, did at first, it felt like something that you would do a very traditional sell on it, maybe traditional film score kind of feel. Everybody was so incredibly receptive that then it turned to a project that could have been just interesting to being really fun to work on. I'm here for Norwich Sound and Vision because my friend Adrian, who puts on the festival, had asked me to come here and talk to some people about what I do for a living. The music culture has been something I've been fascinated with from you know, your love of like old blues and jazz and soul to like Britpop, which I'm completely obsessed with. I come from an independent music background, so I'm always a supporter of the independent scene. So to me, it's always been kind of the times we get a small band across. Like this last year, we were able to work with an artist called Zola Jesus, and we put her in a trailer for a movie, remake of Romeo and Juliet. So to me, to see someone like that who's kind of, you know, coming up a little bit to get an opportunity to be seen on that level, on that stage, I think is always kind of the best. The funny part about when I started music supervision is that I hated it. So more than needing the second job or having another career to pay for it, I kept a second job because I was convinced that I wasn't going to be doing this very long. It felt so strange to like be in an environment talking about something you're so passionate about and love so much, but then almost talking about it like it's like a commodity, like it's business, it's money, you know? So it was like really weird for me. So it took me a while to really get used to this.
What lady's that? I never saw true beauty till this night.
It was more about being part of something, being part of a group, and that's something I've always enjoyed. It's like kind of, you know, the idea of like someone comes up with one concept and you come up with another, and then together you create this really wonderful idea. So at that point, I started to change my mind a little bit.
If we'll ever meet again. I do not doubt it. You are bound to die.
I most definitely had other career plans in mind before music supervision began. Photography is another one of my big passions, and I initially agreed to take a job in music supervision, I think, to help fund that hobby or love, you know, a little bit. So had things not panned out in this, I would probably be seeking something out in the photography world, you know. Our goal is to get you guys to come see these wonderful movies that Hollywood puts out and hopefully enjoy them.
Well, sadly, it's almost the end of our show, so thank you, Stuart Ashton, for coming into the studio. Massive thanks to NS Media, but let's take a quick look at the acts you can still catch this evening. Well, on at the Norwich Arts Centre, we have the lovely Foxes and Keep Up. Tonight, also the wonderful Waylayers and the stunning Kurtzes, both playing Olives. Well, thank you for watching this show. We hope you've enjoyed it. We've had an absolute blast making it. Be sure to stay tuned online to hear the incredible live acts playing into the wee small hours. Enjoy the rest of Norwich Sound and Vision. From everyone at NS Media, good night.